Bam.
Welcome to Thursday Night Therapy. Things you talk to your therapist about. The show where we dive into the good, the bad, and the downward, awkward conversations we all have, or maybe we should have them in therapy. I'm Payne, single gal in training. This right here is Dante.
Hey everybody, Dante. Nice to see y'all, man. Hope everybody had a good week. Here to give you guys a calm, cool perspective, always keeping things down to earth, but also at the same time upbeat for the people. I'm gonna get that intro better for you, Payne, I promise.
That's okay.
My man Chuck, Love Doctor on the mic with us too. Introduce yourself for us, sir.
What's happening, everybody? I'm the residential married man on the podcast. And like I said, I was out there in the streets, man, and doing my thing, and I just decided to change my ways after about 5 years ago. And now my life is completely different. I'm a completely different person. I'm not the guy that I was. And so right now, I didn't get to do it on Monday, so I gotta do my weekly rant, man. And we ain't gonna be on. So I guess I'm gonna do it these next 2 Thursdays. Okay, so listen. What I want y'all to know is it's something that I observe, right? I was watching a show called Married at First Sight. I don't know if you guys watch it, but what one of the things that I noticed about people that are in successful marriages or relationships or even business partnerships or whatever the case may be is that successful people normally have positive counsel around them that have been successful in what they're trying to accomplish. So if I am trying to get married, or say if I am married and I'm going through some type of problems, if I have people around me that have went through similar things in their life, that have overcame the things that I want to accomplish, then it helps me get through it. But if I have people that are negative and who don't know, the only thing they can impute on me is what they did to survive. And remember, survival and thriving are two different things. Yeah. Sometimes we got to do what we got to do to survive, you know what I'm saying, by any means necessary. But to actually thrive and be successful is a totally different thing. So make sure that, when you're taking a calculated risk by joining, getting into a relationship, business, or whatever, that you surround yourself by people who have went down that journey and have succeeded in that journey. So once you come with some type of problem, they can help you overcome it. And like I said, man, I just want to say to everybody out there that having, bad times and, we go through rough patches in our life, just try to stay positive and just seek people around you that give you positive reinforcement, man, and you can get through your problems. Because I've been there. We've all been there. Life is full of peaks and valleys. And I just hope that everybody comes out of it, in the good. So, that's my weekly rant for this week. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it.
Love it.
It resonated with me.
Okay.
Love it. I worked a job. They always say, if you want to know how to do something, look to those who do it successfully. That's all you got to do. You want to know how to build a house? Go talk to somebody who actually has built a house successfully. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to the Love Doctor about it.
Yeah.
Go talk to somebody who has successfully done it before. That is the best place to go for advice. Love it, Love Doctor. Love it.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
So this weekend, how was your weekend? Oh, I'm sorry, Chuck. Go ahead.
Oh, no. My weekend was great. Actually, I was in Columbus this past week. I had to take care of a couple things, and got to see some family. And it's always good to go back to Columbus. Like I said, we actually broadcasted from there on Monday. But I had a great time, and it was nice seeing everybody. It was nice, catching up on to certain people. And if I didn't catch y'all, I guess I'll catch y'all next time. You know what I mean? I try to reach out. If you don't hit me back, I don't know what to say.
Here come the comments, man. You can let them know you was in town now. You know he was in town. My weekend was cool, man. Look, has this clock change fucked up anybody else to sleep at all this week? Am I the only? Listen, I found myself, I don't know what night it was. I think the clocks went back Sunday night. I think Tuesday I was in bed at like 9:30. And I never go to bed pre-midnight. It was like 9:30. I'm like, yo, I'm so tired. So the clock changed. It's dark outside. Repeatedly. And every time I look outside, it's dark. So gearing up for the winter. The clocks have changed. It's getting a little cold outside. The fireplaces are starting to get lit. Got a
We
little
got
liquor in the
fireplace.
freezer, warming from the inside out. Tequila go a long way. But no, I had a pretty good weekend overall. Chill some football, but like I said, that time change, man, is really throwing me off. What have you been up to this week, Pam?
You sure it's not just old age that's just throwing you off?
It could be.
Because I'm not gonna lie, it'd be throwing me off too. But because of that, I have been noticing my time has just been getting away from me. I've started this job and it's and I love it. But I love it so much that I look up and it's like, oh crap, I'm like 4 hours ago I was supposed to be gone. But I get so stuck in issues, then you start talking to people about stuff. So I'm trying to change my life so I can get a better handle on my time. So I've actually erased my social media off of my cell phone. So I don't have my Facebook, I don't have my Instagram. And then once I got rid of it off my cell phone, I didn't realize how addicted I was because then I would just go to my cell phone and I'd just be looking for shit and there's nothing there because I've deleted it. So I've taken that back. I've taken steps to just, I feel like I'm not vibrating as high as I should be and as I could be. Right. So I've been taking more steps, like making sure I read a couple pages every single day, at least 3 pages, nothing too big. The book Atomic Habits tell you the stack habit stack, right? Learn one habit, build another. So that's what I did this weekend into today and through today. And I want to issue an apology. I was one of those persons, the love doctor that came out here to Columbus to come see. And this is another reason why I had to get a hold of my time. I was at work all day. I'm sorry, Chuck. I apologize. I just wanted to issue an apology because I know they say women don't apologize. But I do, man. I do.
I appreciate it. Like I said, was looking forward to sitting down and hitting you up and, just whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. I know you was busy. Shoot, you was working. You had to handle your business. So I completely understand. And like I said, there was a lot of people I didn't get to see. So it's all good. And hey, y'all, what's up? What's up, Charmaine?
Hey, Charmaine.
What's up? What's up, Linda? Yeah, Miss Linda. She did makeup for when we did a movie, the crossover to win the game. She was the makeup artist and she did a great job. You know what I'm saying?
That's so cool.
Well, cool. Hey, welcome in everybody, man. Today's topic, we jumping on the pros and cons of being a step parent. So we got some juicy stuff to get into a little bit later on.
Yeah.
So you guys stay around, man. Pros and cons of step parent. We all kind of have probably some experiences, or maybe we've got some viewers related to having those experiences. So definitely stick around. We got some more stuff to come for you guys.
Absolutely.
So what's up? Y'all want to jump into these current events or what?
Yes.
Let's go. Let's get these current events.
Let's go.
I got a hot one. I don't know if somebody else want to go first, but I got a hot one.
Go ahead. You go first.
You probably should go.
So bet. Y'all probably have already heard this junk. It's going around like wildfire. I was like 2 days late to the party, just getting caught up today on social media. And again, y'all know how it usually goes. I'm scrolling. I'm looking for something for the show. Boom. I come across an African government official named Balstar Ngonga. Balstar Ngonga. For those of you guys who don't know, who haven't been paying attention, who have had your head in the dirt, stuck in the sand, this is a government official. He works in the finance agency. And forgive me, the name of the country, I think it was Guinea. I apologize if I've messed it up, but he's in that African
Guyana?
country.
Is it Guyana or Guinea?
There you go. That one. Guinea. So, peep this, y'all. This is what happened. Started an investigation, right, because there was missing funds. So this started out as an investigation related to some missing funds. Keep in mind, he's a government official for the finance agency. He's one of the heads. So, like, things will roll up to him related to finances. So as they began to investigate the missing finances, a search warrant or a search was executed. Upon search, they found over 400 recordings of this man having sex with different women. Now, here's where it gets a little freaky. First of all, he's married. For anybody who asked, he is married. He has 6 kids, beautiful wife. Over 400 recordings. Again, gets freaky. I want to tell y'all about some of the people on these recordings because this thing is literally tearing that country to pieces. There was a young lady who, once she found out the video got out, because she's a married woman and was a married woman at the time, she actually committed suicide day before yesterday. So one of the 400 ladies has committed suicide. Of the others, there's stuff going on all around related to different people on this tape who were showing up. A lot of them married. Let me tell you some of the people who were on these tapes. There were 8 female staff colleagues. So that means 8 different women who actually worked in that department was on tape. His secretary was on the tape as well. His best friend's sister was one of the people on the tape. His bodyguard's wife was the women on the tape. His little brother's wife was one of the women on the tape. His godfather's wife was one of the women on the tape. His uncle's wife, one of the women on the tape, and she was pregnant with his uncle's child at the time. I got another one for you, Payne. His pastor's wife. The man, the first lady on the tape, sis. On it back.
Wow.
On it back. It's all on tape. It's all coming out. Everybody's seeing it. I saw a tape on social media where a man approached his wife and he's like, yo, what is this? What's going on? How my friends told me about this. I'm looking you on this tape. So it's crazy. There are paternity questions. A lot of situations of not knowing who the father of some of these children are. And there are broken families behind this. Husbands leaving wives, essentially telling them that they got to go. I mean, you can imagine the embarrassment. So this man is literally the African. That's what they're calling them over there. They got a lot of P. Diddy flicks, somebody. 400 tapes and all these people, man. Oh my goodness. Can y'all believe this?
Wow. Dante, that's a news story right there, my guy.
Oh my goodness. It goes deep. This is crazy. People committing suicide, families are being broken. Like, this has literally got the whole country in a tailspin over there, because also it's a government official. There's also money missing. Like, this is really throwing them into a funk. So that's part of why it was popping up on my newsfeed left and right. And this particular young lady, she ended up committing suicide behind the alley, but she was a married woman. She didn't want to face what came with it. I mean, she was on tape going ham. I ain't gonna hold you. I've seen it.
Oh, damn.
What's up, Carmen?
Hey, Carmen.
Hey, Carmen. How you feel about this? That is. What do you think of this? Yeah.
What you got, man?
Listen, okay, let's put this all in perspective. Okay, first we're talking about a second or third world country. Okay, so in these countries, you know, he's large. So, you know what I'm saying? He's a government official. So that's at the highest echelon of society in these nations. So he has access to a lot of people. Now, remember, listen, I used to work at the post office. And when I was a young man, the supervisors at the post office was hitting everything up in there. So you can just imagine with somebody higher up in government that does hiring, that can change your life sort of thing by giving you the connections of jobs and things like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Obviously he's a scumbag. I mean, he's hitting everything and he's married. But I'm just saying this is not something that's out of our imagination, because like I said, in these countries, people ain't making too much money. And like I said, he's giving opportunities and, you know, he's probably lying and things like that. And, you know, hey, this is the stuff that happens in everyday life, man. It's just that he's just doing a lot more of it. So I'm not surprised at all about this.
Well, they say, I don't know, I ain't seen no evidence or nothing, but they say like bro got, you know, at the same time too. So between the power, to get the job done. The funny thing is, these are not unwilling recordings. These are actually like the women all know you're being recorded. It's the weirdest thing because they're all okay with it.
I
don't know what the motivation was. I don't know how the word spread. The bruh just was doing whatever. But as a result, man, over 400 recordings. And again, these are staff colleagues, his secretary. These are the wives of other government officials. I didn't even mention that. His bodyguard's wife. This nigga protects you for life, bro.
Madison says women doing what women do. I expect that coming from him. But yeah. Shame the women are horrible. But like, how much of a scumbag is he that he mess with people like who he trusts? Like that's somebody that's supposed to be your friend. That's your brother. Your brother. Stop with your wife. Like
his uncle's wife while she was pregnant.
And there's hundreds of other women out there. Like I expect him to do that. And I think even his wife expected him to cheat. But like this dude has no loyalty. This is a dude you can't fuck with. You can't hang out with him. He has no loyalty. These hoes ain't loyal. No, they ain't. Wow.
You can't. I mean, you just saying it about him, but what about all these women that were married as well? I mean, it's equal. It's an equal thing. I mean, they were married too. So for the ones that was married that was giving him some, they're just as bad as he was. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in these countries, man, status means a lot. There might be the average salary might only be like $3,000 or $4,000 a year, and then he's like I said, he's large. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, status is no different than somebody that's that has high status here, like a like a Diddy or whatever the case may be. He's just doing that on
the women, they suck too. But like,
so
that's his brother. Like, I think that's something pretty. That your brother. I think that just
your husband's brother.
That's
definitely on both sides.
Yeah. But he's like your brother. Jesus. And your pastor's wife.
The
pastor's wife. Your godfather's mother. Like yes, the women are horrible, but you cannot. This guy is just not loyal. Like, golly. I think I would feel better if he wasn't hitting people in his family, because then it's just like, oh yeah,
right.
Like they're scumbag. Don't do the bitches.
I think we agree on that part. Like, it would be cool if he wasn't hitting the people in your family.
Yeah,
we wouldn't care, bro.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, like if that's be like just a run of the mill every single day, nigga.
Man.
Like that makes
400 is 400, man. We don't care about that part, man. But damn, bro, the pastor's wife.
The pastor's wife. God damn. Like this man, your bodyguard's wife, the dude who's supposed to take a bullet for you.
Right.
I would put a bullet in him.
That
if I was a bodyguard.
You know that man got weapons. That's his job.
Like, yes, that's just what I'm bugging about. Like, this guy is just god dang. Okay, cool.
That was crazy. Y'all got anything else?
I think, you know what? Let's go ahead and get into our topic tonight, because I think we got a lot of stuff to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get into our topic. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me stop this here. Go back here. Okay, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into our topic. Okay. So tonight's topic is the pros and cons of being a step parent. Let me just go ahead and lead this off. Okay. All right. In these times, we all know that dysfunction is the new normal. Okay. So much so that people often look at traditional households as weird, because it's normal and functional, and most relationships are not. So it's most likely at some point in our life that we will have to deal with someone that we may marry or be in a relationship with that has children, and we may have to come on that road, whether we're married to them or not, as a step parent. So, man, so this makes the relationship even more complex than just dealing with just that person. Okay. My normal strategy, and like I said, I've been married previously, and I was a step parent then, and I'm a step parent now, because my wife currently has a son. But my always strategy when I share the household with women that have children is to never come in from the beginning and try to establish my authority too quickly, because children will naturally rebel against them. So what I normally do is come in and check out the dynamics and how the mother and son, mother and daughter relationship is before I exert my authority into the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'll often come with love way before I come with discipline, just so they know that when discipline does come, that it is coming with love, and I'm not being biased. I'm not hating on them because they're your kids. I'm not, feel threatened by your relationship with your mom or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, you're going to have, this is a package deal. So you got to deal with the children when you're dealing with the mom, plain and simple. Okay. So now, but we're going to start off with the cons first though, y'all. Okay. The first con that I want to bring up, you know what I'm saying? That remember, these are not your biological kids, right? And I've learned that in the first marriage. Step parents are not held in the same regard as normal parents. You know what I'm saying? In the long run, because there's no woman that I dealt with that had kids that I had a nice relationship with them that they still stay in contact with me to this day. After all the time that, I put in, kids, like I said, my former marriage we took them out the country, took them to Kings Island, Cedar Point, I flexed them with gifts and everything. And to this day, they don't talk to me anymore. So, so they do not hold me in the same regard as their mom. You know what I'm saying? Or as their real dad. So in light of that, I'll say, man, fuck these kids, man. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Kids. No, for real, man. Like I said, listen, you're only a package deal. Like I said, they're only dealing with you because of their mom. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, when they start getting older, start talking crap and all that kind of stuff, because you in a parent sharing relationship, look, man, hey, they only there because of their mom. So, man, fuck these kids, dog.
The views expressed by Chuck are not the views held by this podcast show.
All of that, what she just said. Hey kids. Kids.
Dante,
hey,
what's
kids.
your con?
Hey kids. I love the kids. You know how Marty Marr love the kids.
Oh, I love them too.
Dante
I love them
the kids too, baby. I love the kids too, baby. So peep this.
Mm-hmm.
My brother not all wrong. He ain't never all wrong. He might say it a different way, but he ain't never all wrong. Just to give you guys a little bit of information about my history related to this particular topic. I've been married. We were together 10 years, married 5. I have a stepson from that marriage. We still have a really good relationship. He's 19 and in college. Still calls me dad. Still hits me up for money for dinner. I still help with college rent sometimes. So the relationship is very, very good. It's very solid. With that said, since I've been divorced, I've also been out here dating. I've been divorced maybe about 6 years or so. Obviously out here dating, getting back on the scene and stuff like that. So I have dated some women with children. So just to give you guys a little background on just some of my experience. So one thing I want to jump on a cosign on that Love Doctor Chuck mentioned was step parents aren't held in that same regard.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of the same responsibility without any of the same reward. As a step parent, I have to do everything that a father has to do, up to and including laying my life down for that child.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how y'all feel about y'all lives, but I like mine. It's valuable to me. So to give it up for someone, we should have a certain bond or connection ourselves. That doesn't always happen. Instead, what happens is that we have all of the responsibility to pay the bills, to protect, whether it was taking them back and forth to their practices or even feeding these kids. I didn't cook dinner for, a kid 14, 15 looking me in the eye. I'm in here making him a plate. You have to do it. And then, but to Chuck's point, man, when it all falls down, none of that recognition comes with you.
Nope.
It is what I would consider up to this point in today's age to be a thankless job. Because we all are in this world. Love Doctor mentioned operating in dysfunction previously. Because we're in the world that we're in, just about everyone has kids. You'd be hard pressed to meet 2 people who both don't have kids, and for them to be able to come together, one of them will, one of them won't, either that or both of them does. Most of us have children. So this is a reality that you have to consider when dating. I'm gonna throw this last statement out, and I'm gonna throw some stuff on you, Payne, but I have literally not dated women because of their children. Everything else was fine. Badass son. I don't want to be his stepdad. And I've literally left food on the table because of exactly that. That's how important it is. But Payne, what are your preliminary thoughts on the subject?
Oh man, well, I thought we were just starting with the cons, but I guess we're giving a high high level overview. All right, I'm with it. So my viewpoint of step parenting is just a little bit different from your guys's, but I also relate. So I've step parented, not by marriage, so I don't have that strong connection with you, but I was in relationships for a grip where I did step into that role of a step parent, and I agree with you with the point where they're sometimes the kids, they don't give a fuck about you no more. You know, they become adults, they don't come back, you know, they use you for what you want. Yeah, you know, they do kid stuff, right? So you do have that in instances. So I agree with you there. But I also have on the other instance where I have one of the kids where that's like my daughter. You know, she calls me not to ask for anything. We'll just talk for an hour and a half. She comes by, she sees me. I just actually just texted her and was like, "Hey, I'll give you $100 to help me with my storage." And she was like, "Oh no, we could just hang out together. we can just hang out together. You don't have to pay me." You know, she's such a sweetheart. And you know, I see it because when I see her mom and her dad, she didn't get that from them. They are not that. But I was around her like when she lived with me, we hung out all the time. So it's like I got the she has a lot of my mannerisms, my naivete, very sweet, but not super naive when I was a kid. So I feel real satisfaction when I see her. I also can talk from a different aspect where I have a stepdad, and he's been my stepdad since I was 14 years old, and like I love him way more than my own biological, and he means he means a lot for me. But he would take a bullet for me. Like, it's not even, if I asked him that, he would look at me like I was an idiot. Like, what do you mean would I take a bullet for you? Like, get out of my face, that's dumb. Because I know he would. And he loves me from the bottom of his heart, and I love him. Like, my future, when I think about my future and I look at taking care of my parents, he's in that future. It's not just I'm gonna take care of my mom, I hope you pull it together. See you later, bruh. I take care of both my parents because he sacrificed for me as much as my mom sacrificed for me. Now, to your point, I do got to be down for my mom, more so because she gave me birth. So I kind of got that kind of allegiance to her, but it's not like there's like a huge gap where my dad would ever have to worry about a situation where I'm gonna have to kick him to the curb. So I have a little.
If your mom and dad was fighting in the middle of the street, what you gonna do?
Well, one, I would never have to worry about that because my dad never argues. But if he never argues. But it would come down to, and like it would be the topic. It would be like, what is it if you got him out here in this street arguing? Like, what is it that you have done, mother? Because I know he is not this type of individual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Go.
Okay. So let's keep it moving. Okay, we're gonna stay with the cons. Okay. I mean, we got some stuff we're gonna go through.
Y'all can be the cons. I'll be the pro. Go ahead.
Okay, listen. Okay, now remember, the stepkids will always be number one in their life. Always, like, especially when they're young, which is, I can understand that because, women, you guys are always in protection mode of your kids. So you don't want anything bad to happen to them and whatnot. So, coming in, you have to deal with some of that dynamic that's dysfunctional between mother, like I said, mother and son, mother and daughter. And you have to overcome that by establishing, some normalcy and stability as being a parent there. Like, as being the male, you have to show up that, listen, I'm there, I'm not going to be, I'm going to be here me and your mom going to be here. So they have to be secure in you. So you have to change a lot of things that may be wrong between mother and child. So you might come into a household and, the son might be the man in the house. He might think he is. But when you come in, you have to deal with that and let him know, like, listen, man, just be a kid. And I'm saying, I'm going to take care of all the other stuff. Don't worry about the bills and all that. Just be a kid. So you got to deal with that thing the wrong way that they've been taught all their life. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, in a traditional household, me and my wife or whatever, we create the child, raise the child. When the child starts getting out of hand, we come together and we discipline the child as a team. You see what I'm saying? And when they get a certain age, we kick the child out because it's time for them to get on with themselves and grow up. But in these day and times, to where the dynamics is the mom may not be with the dad, she don't want to have an empty nest. So a lot of times she does things to keep the kids there, and they're there a lot longer than what they should be. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you look at a house that has a male that is a hardworking man that takes care of the house, then most of the time his kids, especially his sons, are not going to be in the house when they get a certain age because he's not going to accept anything less than what he's doing. You understand what I'm saying? Because he has say so in the house and whatnot. But nowadays, like I said, these kids is in the house until they in their 30s and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because mama ain't going to let them struggle and let them grow up in this world. So these are some of the things that you have to deal with, as far as cons when you're dealing with other kids, because the dynamics is a lot different. Now, remember with me, like I said, right now I'm married and her son is, he's grown. So he's like in his mid-20s. So, he doesn't live here or anything like that. He has his own situation. And it's just like we got a fresh start. It's just me and her. So we're good. Like we don't have any of those problems. He's independent on his own. He's doing his own thing. My kids are grown except for my youngest. But other than that, everything is cool. But like I said, if he was a younger man, then, I would probably have to deal with a lot of things and actually correcting him and teaching him responsibilities and things like that. But right now, he in his mid-20s. So, what can I really do? You know what I'm saying? I'd like to, maybe be, more influential on him, but he's grown now. So all of his ways and things like that have already been formed. You understand what I'm saying? So, these are some of the cons, like I said, that you have to deal with, as being a step parent.
Well, and the thing is, Love Doctor, the kids be knowing what they doing. Kids is slick. The kids act a certain way when their parent is around, and then when it's just you and the kid, they acting like the kids are smart. They know what's going on, and they know who has the power in that dynamic. Children know when their parent will choose them over you, and they use that power to flex on you during times where you're alone. Big con.
Okay, let's read this comment real quick.
Go ahead.
You want to do it?
No, you got it. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Let's get rid of the step part. This is from Thomas. Let's get rid of the step part of the title. There must be an understanding first of the adults and parenting styles. If I'm doing all the things under our roof that I do for my kids who aren't under my roof, then I'm a parent. And if that's not the case, a man cannot ask a mother to choose between kids and themselves. You nurture her children more than your own because you have more hands on base on the living arrangement. Parenting, discipline, etc. Must be unified. Yeah, you got to be on the same page. I completely agree with that.
You definitely have to be on the same page. I think one of the things that I do appreciate in those situations where we were able to talk about, like, I could say things like, I just don't like your son right now. And he'd be like, me too. And we would just be able to discuss that and talk about, like, okay, yeah, that I agree with that. That makes sense. Now, I can't do anything because, it's not my kids. You're unable to, or at least in my aspect, I couldn't physically discipline children. And nor would I, but I definitely can't. So when it comes to disciplining for the physical aspect, that was something that I know that I couldn't be, I would not be able to do if I was into physical disciplining people. That might be an issue for me. But however, I was able to, there were discipline that I was able to extend. So it wasn't like, I know some people are in situations where their hands are tied. Like they have somebody who's like, don't touch my baby and I take care of my baby when I get home. And you're not supported in that aspect. So one of the things that if I were to date a man who had kids, I would need to make sure that I would be supported and that you trust that when I discipline your children, I'm not going to do anything harmful. I'm going to do something that warrants it. The crime warrants the punishment. I'm not just here hating on your children. You know, if anything, like Chuck said, I'm going to be really, really cool until I got to not be cool.
Yeah, for sure, guys. And that's the, since we talked about it, since it's been brought up, discipline. Disciplining children. That's a really, really hot topic, really big topic when it comes to the step parenting, being a step parent or blended families, is discipline. And both of you kind of touched on it. So to the gentleman's point who left the comment, what was his name? Thomas? Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah.
To Thomas's point, you really do have to be cohesive. You really do have to be a team. I'll share my experience growing up. I had a stepfather who me and my sister absolutely despised. And part of the reason was because of the example that Chuck gave not to do. He came in and literally was attempting to assert up front and early, where it was like, nigga, you just got here. Like, we've been staying here this whole time. So what I want to say to Thomas's point when it comes to discipline, and because I was able to experience this in my marriage with my stepchild, is that the biological parent does have to be the person that leads the disciplinary charge. What my mother did was she allowed our stepfather to lead the disciplinary charge, which created issues. As much as he came in and he was setting punishments and whatever, I remember one time I was with my mom, hey, mom, can I go to auntie's house to something? She was like, ask your dad. I'm like, that's not my fucking dad.
You're right.
And why am I asking him? You're my parent. And like, I'm asking to go to your sister's house. Like, it did not make any sense to me. She was literally like forcing us into asking him. And then when I did something where I got in trouble, it was him who came in to do the discipline. And it was like my mother was perfectly fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hate that.
Just fine. My mother disciplines just fine. Don't need no help. So why you letting this man discipline me? I don't know. But as a result, it created resentment and hatred. On the other end, on the opposite side, being able to be an adult, get married, and now be a stepfather, and being a person who didn't like his own stepfather, I didn't want to be hated. I didn't want to be that guy that came in and changed your life and, you know, was a dickhead. I was an advocate for my stepson. As his mother disciplined him, I was able to, it's okay, next time just try this, and maybe she won't be so hard on you. But I was able to be more of an advocate there. And also, if there was something that happened and I said he did this, this, and this, sure, I had the carte blanche to be able to put him on punishment. But the smarter thing to do was to have his mother in the room. We've talked, we've discussed, you know, what you did in school earlier. We've discussed your behavior from earlier today. We've decided that you'll be on punishment for X amount of time. No game, no phone, no such and such. Any questions? Very easy to do with his mother standing right there. Now, also because my ex-wife, she didn't really play like that. She also did not need no help. So as a result, it was seamless. So with the discipline aspect, I mean, yeah, I've had to get on my stepson a couple times, less than a handful of times I've had to get on him. And the thing was, because he knew in the back of his mind that if there was ever an issue between he and I, he knew in the back of his mind that he would have his mother to deal with. And it's that kind of support that Champagne was just referencing, and it's that kind of approach with discipline that Love Doctor was just referencing. And even what Thomas was just talking about, that togetherness when it comes to it, because truthfully speaking, discipline is a really, really important part of the parenting dynamic.
Right. And if you don't, if you're not on the same accord on things like that, you know, as far as how the discipline goes, the relationship's not going to work, man, because kids, you know, if they know they can put one parent against the other, then, you know, it's just, yeah, they especially if your partner, wife, or whatever undercuts your authority when it comes to the discipline, and that's a big problem. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I think what your mom was doing, she was just trying to make him feel like a man and being with the discipline. But like I said, you know, discipline is with love. You know what I'm saying? You're doing this to correct the children because you don't want something to happen to them, or this is something that's, you know, self-destructive that they can learn from or whatever. But if you don't discipline with love, then, you know, then the kids are going to resent you for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've always, anytime that I've, and you know, and with my own father, like he always, like, he would talk to me like for, you know, an hour or so instead of whooping me. You know what I'm saying? Because he wanted me to know what I did was wrong. But I would have rather took the whipping. Women would have just been over in like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? But again, before he whooped me or whatever, he would always talk to me and, you know, and all that. And I've seen people in different households where their parents were abusive and things like that, that stepfathers that, you know, that didn't love them and stuff like that. You can tell that kids can read energy like no other. They know the type of energy that you bring into the crib. If you bring it in a sleaze bucket, I ain't gonna say. I'm gonna give you another example. I know a family member. I'm not even gonna say the name, but they met somebody in the prison pen pal system, right? And so they brought this person. They brought this person immediately to the crib. You know, this dude was fresh out of jail, right? So when he came in, of course, for the first couple months, he was being real cool. You know what I'm saying? He had his little job and this and that. And, you know, after a couple months, he had a drug. He was a drug addict. He started stealing stuff. And he just flipped. You know what I'm saying? And the kids hated him, but the mom got him out of the prison pen pal system. You know what I mean? And, you know, stuff like that, man, you got to be real careful who you bring into your house. That this is women or men. You know what I'm saying? Because that type of energy, I mean, you know what I'm saying, it can cause a lot of things within your household. And that's where you want to have your peace. And if you can't have your peace, man, then you don't belong there. Plain and simple.
You know, for the ladies out there with children, who dating with children, listen, your children's perspective and view of you can change, can alter based on who you bring into that house. So the pen pal situation, you know, your children begin to feel unprotected, that you put them in harm's way, that you don't care about them, their well-being. They will begin to look at you differently. And that's what you have to avoid, because the thing is, a lot of the time, you know, we have the babies when they're young, but we're not doing the dating and the step parent until the children are older. This is how they're leaving your house. You don't want them leaving your house with the mindset of, my mother doesn't love me, wouldn't protect me, doesn't make good decisions or put us in good position. So it can change how your kids look at you. It really is important. Don't just be bringing in a fucking prison pen pal and the old willy-nilly like them kids ain't gonna mess with you no more.
I had the sister to the girl that I was raising. She her mom was dating a dude who was in prison, and he would like try to, I guess, say something to the daughter on the low and like kind of discipline her, because the daughter started getting out of hand. But that's because the mom is dating this dude in prison.
Over the phone?
Because, you know, she's like, I just want you to be able to get along, because he's gonna come and move in here. And, you know, her dad wasn't having that, so she eventually came to live with her dad. But
absolutely
that also comes from like a lot of these women got low self-esteem, and because I think she was blind. I think she was kind of blind, and, you know, you feel like you just gotta take what you can get. And if there's a prison guy who's giving you the whoo, you know, you're gonna bring him back to your home.
The kids
crazy.
The kids can sense that. They can sense your desperation. The kids know when you're desperate. They know when you got somebody around that's not treating you correctly. They see it. They're not idiots. So you begin, honestly, to put yourself in a position where your children don't look at you the same. And honestly, guys, that's got to be important to you as a parent. How those children look at you at the end of the day. You put a lot of work and effort into raising them and impacting who they come out to be. I am certain you want them to look at you with a glimmer in their eye. I know I do. So keep that in mind. They're going to be looking at you crazy. You bring the wrong nigga in there.
Exactly. And women too, man. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say also how your children grow up. You know, if you see your mom always being jerked around by a dude, you know, your sons might grow up to emulate that behavior, or, you know, think less of women, and you know, because they see their dad over here using them, or their mom using them. On the other side, you might see your daughter might either get used by dudes, or she might be like, man, F these dudes, I'm just gonna get their money. It just creates an unbalanced thought process too when you don't pick that right partner in your room, in your home.
Yeah, that all matters. Any more comments? Dr. Love?
Yeah, let me just say one more thing too before we get to the pros. Okay. I'm gonna just say this to women out there. Now listen, regardless if it's a step parent or not, man, just always realize that your children are paying attention to what you're doing, man. you know, I mean, like I went to a couple of females' cribs, and you know, and like their parents, you know, their kids were sitting there. You know what I'm saying? They called me over for a booty call. Their kids know it. You know what I mean? And they sitting there. I'm like, damn, your son in the next room. And then she's like, no, he all right. All right. Yeah, like, come on, man. That's that type of thing. That's
too.
Kids, that kid. But I'm just saying, have discretion. That's why kids grow up angry, man. They observe the things that the parents are doing. Y'all don't realize it. Kids absorb everything, man. For real. So just be careful who you bring around. You know, whether you be male or female, you know, whatever. And like I said, me too. Like I said, when I was married and I was cheating before, like I took, you know, kids like on a boxing tournament, you know what I'm saying? So I always had some different holes in different cities. So I, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll try to see
still be talking to women be the main offender here.
No, that was not. I thought
we talking about women main offender.
I thought that no, they was in a separate room. I had my own room down the hallway.
If you that
they
knew
what it is. They knew it. That's what I'm saying. So you gotta be careful, man, for real. Because one of my daughters, she confronted me about it lately. Like, I know what you're doing, Dad. I was like, oh, really?
I know what you're doing.
We had that conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now she gonna grow up and be like, niggas ain't shit.
Right. So, I mean, she's a feminist right now, so you know, I play part.
Boom, that's what happens.
I did. So I mean, I was young, man. I thought I got it all. But anyway, okay, let's go into the pros. All right. So listen, one of the pros that I noticed, you know, by being a step parent, and even being a step parent now, is like, now remember, if you know that one of my only son is autistic, and you know, so it was very hard for me to deal with at a young age because I always wanted, to raise a young man, you know, differently, somebody better than me, and he looks exactly like me, but I can't have a conversation with him. I can't install values in him. I can't make him a better version of myself that I wanted to do with, you know, my stepson. I mean, I say my stepson, my real son. You know what I'm saying? And so that, you know, really got to me, you know, to my heart. So just like when I was younger, I actually raised my nephews almost like they were my sons. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I got them into all the sports things that I couldn't do with my son. You know, I spent a lot of great time with them as they were younger or whatever. But again, they're not my sons. They're my nephews. So, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't completely put myself into them because they had their own mom and dad at the crib. You know what I'm saying? And even like I said, right now, my wife, her son, you know, he plays semi-pro football. You know, I'm a big sports fan. So for me, you know what I'm saying, to go out there and, you know, check him out playing football, and he's real ambitious about playing sports and things like that. This is the stuff that I could get behind. You know what I'm saying? And this is things that I couldn't do with my own son. So to see, you know, my stepson out here doing this thing, you know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying, that as a step parent, you know what I'm saying, that's a big positive for me. You know what I'm saying? Because those are things that I couldn't do with my own son. So that, you know, for me, that's one of the positives.
Yeah, for sure. Thane, you want to jump in?
Oh, sure. You know, I don't have any kids. I don't know that I want to go that path. I'm kind of like, yeah, it is what it is.
You too old, don't worry about it.
Too old for it. Oh, I got pound of eggs now, right? But as a kid, I never really was like, I wanted to have a kid all the way. Like, it was something cool because everybody said to do it. But as I got older, I really enjoyed just other people's kids. And I was able to pour into, you know, my nephews, my niece, you know, everybody know Aunt Payne. Everybody love Aunt Payne. You know, Aunt Payne is like, I love all my extended kids, my all of them. And I look at, you know, some people feel like blood is the only way to live on. And that is a way to live on. But I also look at values and just the things that you're able to imbue to people that you're not blood related to. When I'm talking to my nephew and he says something to me, I'm like, wow, that sounds so smart. And he's like, you taught me that on Payne. I'm like, what? You was listening to me? And that just makes me feel amazing. You know, when when they just have the ideas, the things that I taught them, that I see it in them. And that's what I like about being a step parent, is the fact that there are people who really need you, that you can do and make a real big impact on. And some people are going to be jerks. I mean, yeah, you're going to have some jerk kids, but biological people have jerk kids. I can name 10 people whose biological kids are jerks. Okay. So biology doesn't mean that you're going to have a great relationship. Biology doesn't mean that your kids are going to acknowledge you. Biology just means that you are related. That's it. But the time and the love that you put into these children, the ones who want it, it comes back to you tenfold. I had one take me out for my birthday and she like dropped 200 on me. Didn't have it, but you know, she loves how much I've always came through for her, supported her. And I was like, okay. So that I'm paying love to kids. So if you have a I'm looking for a newborn baby to love now that I can give back. I don't want to keep. I want to give it back. So if you need to join Aunt Payne's tribe, I'm accepting applications. Your kids can't be bad though. None of my nieces or nephews, they're not bad.
That's a lie. Um,
I'm telling. I'm telling.
yeah, like I said before, man, I had an opportunity to have that experience. I have a stepson. I was able to be a step parent, a stepfather. Um, my stepson, I want to say he's probably about 4.5 when they came in his life, and he was probably about 15 when his mom and I divorced. Um, since then, the contact remains steady. Since then, I'm still an impact. But to go back on the pros, um, my stepson, my wife and I had 2 children together. My stepson was their big brother. I had
Did he
someone,
die?
no, I just mean in that household, he was their big brother. I had somebody to help me raise them to be men,
Mm.
unknowingly, involuntarily, but they looked to their big brother for a lot. So someone else in the house to teach them how to be a man, someone else to tell them, hey, you're not supposed to cry right now. It's not the manly thing to do. Don't cry. Or to tell them to go get their lick back or whatever it was. But it's just somebody to help me. And then also the same thing around the house. My stepson ended up being, Chuck, you mentioned your stepson was semi-pro football.
Mm.
My stepson ain't a little boy either. He's a big boy. So help, lifting all kind of shit, get these groceries.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah. Help me
he don't
move.
want to make 2 trips. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we finna move. Let me pick this up, take this downstairs, upstairs. Like, there was another
Mhm.
man in the house all of his teenage years. Um, and the cool thing was we had a good dynamic to the point where there wasn't any rifts or issues or whatever the case, because since he had been 4.5, we had already set that tone. We had already set
Mhm.
uh, those places. I am dad. Um, so again, fast forward just to talk about the pros. Kind of going to hit on some of the same stuff that Payne mentioned. To this day, my son, he's in college, and he'll call me and he will tell me about a problem that he's having, and I can't describe the joy or the feeling of being able to help him solve that. Um, I right now would love to mentor young men. I have sons of my own. I'm working on them. But as soon as they're of age, mentoring and giving back by way of advice, education, guidance, direction is exactly what I want to do. So having that relationship with my stepson gives me the opportunity to do that, see it in real life. And I just love when I'm able to be impactful in his life. And the reason for that,
Mhm.
he appreciates it.
Mm.
A lot of the times the kids grow up and they forget about you.
Mm.
I have a smart young man who's able to recognize what was going on around him and able to say, you didn't have to do that. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I did. Thank you. You know what I mean? Somebody finally recognized that I
Yeah.
never had to do
Yeah.
none of this.
Vindication.
Thank
Yes.
me. You right. So, but
Mhm.
man, it's good to hear. It's good to be appreciated. It's good to be thanked. It's good to be impactful in somebody's life. It's good to be revered in a positive way. To be looked at with that glimmer in the eye of,
Yeah.
I know my dad knows the answer.
Mhm.
It feels amazing. So for all of the emotional parts of it, when you can do it the right way, and you can have success in those relationships, it really is super rewarding.
I'm 39 and I still call,
Woo!
Nigga, you 39 too. Stop.
Okay. You have to tell mine.
Look it. But anywho, I still call my dad. Like I just, in fact, I called him this morning or earlier today because I was talking about some electrical schematics, and I was like, listen, if you got some time, I like to go through it together because I don't understand some of the keys and everything. He's like, yeah, like you can hear the kind of joy in his voice. Like, yeah, I'll be happy to help you. You just say what you need, But and I don't do it to to pump them up all the time. But I do it because I enjoy being around them. We laugh. We just watched some cartoons. Somebody was getting jumped. We laugh like little schoolgirls. We have such a good time. So, what I will say about step parentage is it is a thankless job. It's not ideal. I don't know that I would choose to be a step parent, but on the other hand, sometimes it could be kind of cool. It can work out. It's tough, but it can have its rewards. I guess it depends on what side of the pin you're
on. Yeah, and and that's another thing. And one thing we got a couple minutes left that we didn't touch on either. That can kind of be neutral. It could be either a pro or a con. Is the baby daddy or baby mama situation? You have to deal with it. When they're not your kids, you got to deal with that dynamic too. So, how did that relationship end? How, some babies' dads, or whatever, they might, not like the way that their household is running, and they might, be talking in the kid's ear and trying to turn the kid against you.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Lord,
Things like that. There's so many different, levels to this. You know what I'm saying? That can happen. That it makes it even more difficult, man. For things to last. That's why I think relationships don't last as long as they do. That they have is because it's it's hard. It's hard enough just dealing with just you and that person. But now when you got kids that ain't yours on both sides, then you got babies, mamas, babies, dads. Just like my youngest baby. Ever since I got engaged, she turned my daughter against me. My daughter don't even want to talk to me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's all because she was mad at me. I think because she was always trying to discourage the relationship. It's just a big old mess, man. It's the things that you got to deal with. And like I said, and I always say this: if things start off dysfunctional, you know what I'm saying, then most likely they're going to end that way as well. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, man, it's hard to really, find somebody that don't have no baggage and you don't have to work things out that it's going to be a perfect fit. You're going to have to work towards the relationship being a functional relationship, you know what I'm saying? And that comes with communication, that comes with compromise. You have to value each other enough and want to commit to it enough to actually make this thing work. And it's really hard to do, especially as you get older and you get set in your ways and then bring somebody in your space. Now bringing their kids and their problems, and then financially, you got more mouths to feed and things like that. And again, like you said, at the end of the day, you don't get the credit for it. You're really dealing with it because it's a package deal. And after, if it doesn't last, her and the kids is gone. And all that work you put in, you did it for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's, like I said, you keep that thing that you had like champagne, and you say your stepson still talks to you, which is cool. But most of the time, when the parent leaves, that's the end of it. You're not going to talk to the kids. That's it, because they're a package deal. So just keep that in mind. When you're dealing with stepchildren issue, because this is how it goes. Like I said, I'm talking from experience, and y'all talk from experience too. This is just how it goes. So if you're in that situation, or you plan to be on that situation, just keep that in mind.
Yes, sir. Man, I want to we about to close out here, folks, in just a minute. I just want to add one more comment before we get out of here.
Go ahead.
Ladies, for my ladies, if you out here, you dating with children, just keep in mind that being a step parent is not easy. Keep in mind that being a step parent is a thankless job. And I want you to find time and space in your day and in your heart to say thank you to that man.
Yes,
for doing what
please.
He don't have to do. Fellas,
please.
Vice versa, shoe on the other foot. You got a woman helping you out with your kids, my boy. Take time to say thank you.
Just a Mother's Day card, something.
It ain't even gotta be Mother's Day. You feel me?
So the final thoughts, is that your final thoughts, everybody?
You got pain?
Hey, just make sure you're on the same page. Make sure they support you, and make sure their kid is in the spawn of Satan.
All right. So, hey, listen, for my final thought, like I said at the beginning, listen, this world has changed, man. You can't whip your kids no more. You might go to jail. The kids, they talking crap when they get a certain age. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said in the beginning of the show, man, fuck these kids, dog. You know what I'm saying? Establish a relationship with the person that you're going to be. If it's going to work out, it's going to work out. But until then, when the kids start acting crazy, ain't nothing you can do, man. Fuck them. But anyway, until next time, we'll be back next Thursday. We won't be here Monday. So we'll see y'all next Thursday. All right? So until then, peace.